Hey, what's up YouTube? So the Prydwen tier list finally got updated for wuwa, and with the addition of Phrolova, we'll take a look at some changes, and there shouldn't be many changes. She only has pretty much limited types of teams, and that shouldn't impact too many characters other than I think the main impact would be for Cantarella to go up. So I have the tier list here and we'll take a look at that as we read through the change log and stuff. So yeah, it got changed today, of course, with the release of Phrolova, as I said already. So let's get right on into the changes and see what's up with the changes. So we'll make this introduction brief and get into the TOA tier list changes right away. But first, we wanted to provide a small update on the progress for the tier list toggles to enable or disable signature weapons and S0 characters. That's still in the works. The team got busy with ZZZ. Not for long enough. Expected to release in a few weeks at maximum before 2.6. Okay, so we have the toggle changes coming before 2.6. Very glad about that. I am curious to see the overall rankings with their signatures, which will be more fair in my opinion, as I've been saying. Phrolova is highly impacted by her signature weapon, so we'll get ahead of that and discuss her performance with and without her signature in this changelog now for the TOA changes. Yeah, she is kind of reliant on the signature actually, because the second option is actually really behind, like more than 20 or 25% even behind other than the signature. The second option being obviously the string master, which is the alien weapon. It does not provide as many buffs in the passive as the signature. The signature gives you like 35%, 32% echo skill damage amp, as well as defense ignore. So yeah, that's like way too good for her. So let's get to it. Phrolova is not performing that well actually, so it's like not T0 level, so which is, I think it's fine, because I think in the future they are gonna add a character who will replace Rosia in the premium team and it will bring up the team's performance, but we'll have to see. Added as T1 DPS in the TOA. This placement may be a shocker to a lot of you. Yeah, it is. This is because Phrolova has a really big issue, and that's her signature weapon. Yeah, this is also another thing. If you don't have her signature, this might feels like this, because yeah, the T1 without the signature is actually seems quite fair. When looking at things like the signature being like 20 to 25% or even 30%, I think some cases better than the string master. So yeah, that actually quite makes sense. So she might go to T0 when we get the signature in the toggle. So we'll have to see. I'll definitely make a dedicated video on that as well with the new changes. It should be interesting and very exciting to see as well. So her weapon is simply made to work with her so well that it's practically a requirement to have her perform compared to other DPS in T0.5 and particularly in T0. This is the kind of situation Brandt was facing. We recommend checking our calculations in this. Phrolova is very similar to him in this regard. Her damage is balanced around the fact that she actually owns this signature weapon and comes more as a package deal with her weapon rather than a fully fleshed out DPS at R0. To point, we'd recommend Camellia over her if you can't afford to spend 1.5x of usual pulls to get not only Phrolova but a signature as well. However, provided you do have her signature, it's very safe to bump her up a tier to tier 0.5. She is definitely stronger than Camellia in her best team, and with her signature, she is easily the best havoc DPS. Yeah, I'd say Camellia is kind of built for wuwa, right? The whimpering waves, and in TOA, Phrolova should be better. So yeah, but she is not at the damage level of Carlotta, Zani, and Cartethyia, even factoring that in. Yeah, okay. So she does not completely destroy everything, right? Like no power creep here. It's like good balance stuff. So feels good, man. Looking at this, like it's nice to see. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's overall Phrolova. They added T1 for for what is it called? TOA, and T 0.5 with the signature, and without the signature normal right now T1. That seems quite fair actually. It's like makes sense, because if the signature is too good, that's bound to happen. She is balanced around that, I think so. Yeah, that's signature might be an issue. If you have Phrolova, as I said, I do recommend the signature because he's a DPS, right? I recommend DPS signatures for most of the DPS, unless like for like Camellia and Changli, it's a bit different because the standard weapon works so well with them. So yeah, that's those are some exceptions, but other than that, Some signatures are actually really good. Okay, let's move on to Cantarella now. Of course, she got buffed because of the Phrolova release. So she's moving from T1.5 to T1. Pretty easy to understand why Cantarella was bumped up. She is good for Phrolova. Phrolova is pretty good. More importantly, for the R0 tier list, Cantarella is actually good alternative for Jinxie teams, and she has healing and crowd control. Even with signature weapons, she'd stay in T1, but she's comfortably there. While we're at it, for those of you who are curious about Rosia, Prolova isn't strong enough at R0 to, and Rosia doesn't make big enough of a difference to bump her up a tier even at R1. So both her and Cantarella will be staying in the T1 even with the R1 tier list. Yeah, I am not surprised because, as I said before, even this came out, right? I said Rosia's value won't be going up because Rosia is not be all end all for this team. The main thing you need for this team is like Frolova's signature, maybe for her own DPS, and you need Cantarella, basically the character, not her signature. Cantarella, the character. Those are the two things that make or break the team. And yeah, Rosia is very replaceable with characters like Danjin or Havoc Rover. It's not really that big of a deal, and I think in the future updates, when we'll get characters like I think Chisa might be Havoc. If she's Havoc, I assume she will be the character that we slot in as the third teammate instead of Rosia in that team. And Chisia might do Havoc damage, like heavy attack damage as Havoc damage, and I think that's gonna be the teammate that we slot in the future. She might also have some team-wide echo damage boost or something, echo skill damage boost or something kind of thing that might buff the team as well. Well, we have to wait and see. So just hold your horses, as I said numerous times. I wouldn't recommend pulling for Rosia. She isn't really that crazy. It's like T1 for TOA and excuse me. See her being like only good teammate for like characters like now Frolova and the older one, which is Camellia. And other than that, I don't really find any use for at low cons, at low levels at least, like low investments. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So changes, there aren't really a lot of changes, but yeah, that's about it for the TOA. They didn't change much, of course. Only Frolova, adding Frolova, changing Cantarella a bit, and Rosia no change, and also they said no change for the R1 tier list as well. So okay, so let's take a look at the Whimpering Waste stuff. Frolova added as a T 0.5 DPS. Frolova's kit seems way stronger in Whimpering Waste than TOA. If you assumed that, you would be correct. She has a signature weapon issues on this tier list as well, but she is genuinely fantastic with Cantarella and particularly Rosia, making for a team with particularly infinite count control and constant damage output. Yeah, as I said, Rosia is kind of a built character for Whipping Waste with that grouping mechanic and all that tornado and stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. With a but fear not, like you don't need Rosia for Whipping Waste. You just don't. It works perfectly fine. It's all right. She's not that good in that. But yeah, it's so let's actually take a look here. The Whimpering Waste tier list. She's of course T0 here, makes sense, right? But yeah, so what was I reading? Okay, here she has a signature weapon is on the tier list, but she's infinite kind of particular, yeah, making for a team with practically infinite count. Yeah, I downloaded this with a signature factored in. She is safely placed in T0 on this tier list, and without, she is comfortably at T0.5. Okay, so they are saying that with the signature, Prolova will be T0 in this. So that quite makes sense because this team will have so much crowd control if you like know how to play the Prolova character. Because Prolova has two different of the forte circuits that you can gain, and if you gain with the enhanced skill, the Hecate will like group the enemies, and that will help you a ton in that team. So yeah, and of course Rosia herself has grouping. If you have Rosia, Cantarella has some grouping as well, so that makes sense. So she's already T0 with the R1, so will go to T0 with the new tier list. We'll have to see. So Cantarella T1.5 to T1, of course, same change as TOA because of the Phrolova addition. Very similar to reasoning to TOA tier list. Phrolova good, so Cantarella good now. Can be considered as a T0.5 character with signature weapons factored in thanks to Phrolova, retroactively impacting Cantarella's own performance as they are each other's best team. Yeah, I'm actually very excited for the R1 changes because I've been saying this for a long time. For the majority of your DPS characters, you will be able to pull for the R1s, because who has like this game's weapon balance is actually generous because it's guaranteed. So you have less risks on going for it, and it's a guaranteed investments. You would need around at max 70 pulls, I think, and that's it. It's not like less pulls, like a lot of pulls, but still it's like guaranteed. So what more you could ask for, right? It's better than the other things that we have in different games. But yeah, the weapon banner being guaranteed is a big plus on this. But even still, yeah, I'm pretty excited for the R1 tier list. Let me know what you think about these changes, and if you think Phrolova would be is still better without the signature or not. And yeah, I'll be like the Phrolova materials are story locked, so I am busy on that for now. Today I'll be making more videos on the TOA changes, like TOA clears and stuff soon. Stay tuned for that, and make sure to subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Peace, YouTube.